Investing can be extremely simple if you have a certain strategy and if you're going to remember one thing. It is not about timing the market, it is about time in the market, and this is going to be your most important factor that you need to realize if you're investing into the crypto market, because we all know that the crypto market moves in cycles and that each and every time after the Bitcoin halving we are seeing this parabolic run towards the upside, and yes, each and every time during the halving, we are seeing these consolidation phases, reaccumulation phases, where a lot of people get pushed out of the market that are going to enter a lot higher. And in today's video, we're going to find out what we could expect in the immediate short term. Are we finally going to get this major breakout towards the upside, or even another shakeout all the way back down? But guys, ultimately we're going to look at the news because we can see a very bearish news in the market. Yes, the USA wants to sell Bitcoin, or they have moved some of their Bitcoin. But guys, ultimately we've got some major bullish news and we're going to go directly over to the bullish news. But at the end of the video, we're going to do some TA on Bitcoin and also Solana. So if you want to find out more, watch the video until the end, smash up the like button and subscribe. And yes, in the previous video we've talked about manipulation, and once again in the markets we are seeing some major FUD and a major manipulation breaking. US government just moved 10,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase Prime. Yes, ultimately this is a bearish news because maybe they're going to sell these Bitcoin, but yes, this is just a short-term volatility that we can see in the market because major corporations, they're going to buy up all of these Bitcoin. But guys, what is really going to be important, is it really a bearish news? Because actually that they have moved 10,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase, being a custodian for also BlackRock and major companies. Coinbase holds all of these Bitcoin for major institutions. So yes, maybe they even have a deal with BlackRock that they even bought all of these Bitcoin and that they're not going to be sold on the market. And yes, I think this is just going to cause a short-term volatility, and maybe this is even bullish that they have moved their Bitcoin to Coinbase, being a custodian for major institutions. So yes, ultimately once again this is manipulation or even FUD that is suppressing Bitcoin. And ultimately guys, you should always remember, it is not about timing the market to get in and out of the market, because this is how you're going to lose money long term. Hold on, sit on your hands, accumulate during these major accumulation phases, because ultimately the next news are extremely bullish. The CPI results, expectations were at 3% and the actual data came in round about 2.9% and the forecast was 3%. So yes, we can see that the CPI is still coming down, the inflation, and this is of course good because this could give us the indication that we're going to see a rate cut in September. And ultimately guys, we all know what is going to happen after these rate cuts. Yes, we're seeing money flowing into the markets due to quantitative easing, the printing of money. Because yes, we can see on the logarithmic chart for Bitcoin, all the way from the year 2011 all the way to the current price, we can see the global monetary liquidity. We can see that each and every time we are seeing that the global liquidity is pushing higher, that money is going to flush in the markets through quantitative easing, the printing of money. We can see that each and every time we saw these major spikes, Bitcoin has formed the all-time high. And yes, we can see in the previous time, in the year 2021, this was exactly the time where the money printing started, exactly after the COVID crash. And yes, we saw that the monetary liquidity went all the way up to these highs, and we also saw that the price of Bitcoin went exactly from these levels, from this V-shaped recovery, from this black swan event where everybody was extremely bearish. It turned around and it formed a new all-time high, and this was exactly the beginning of phase 2 of the bull market, this parabolic run towards the upside. And yes, this was caused from all these measures from the Federal Reserve, but this has to have an end, because if we're going to see these rate cuts, this is ultimately going to mean that money is going to enter the markets, and yes, this is going to turn the price of Bitcoin around, and that we're going to see the stage 2 of the bull market. But let's go over to the next news, because yes, even in the previous video I told you this chart is going to be extremely important, because we are exactly here. This white line is the price movement of Bitcoin since the halvening. And we can see in the previous cycles, this was usually the time we saw this parabolic run towards the upside. And yes guys, this is why this is extremely important. Don't try to time the market or outpace the market, because remember, the market wins most of the time. And yes guys, this is exact what we could expect. We are exactly in this accumulation phase, this reaccumulation phase, where unfortunately a lot of people get flushed out of the markets because they turn extremely bearish and they want to rebuy their position that they're bought exactly at the top at a lower level. But guys, these levels are never going to come, because if we go on the weekly chart exactly here, we can see that all of these candles, we can see that exactly each and every time we saw this reversal candle, this pinned spinning top candle, we saw this major continuation. Here it was just a smaller move, forming a lower high exactly within these levels. But guys, yes, here we could see that the price movement saw this major dump, formed the spinning top, and then we saw this continuation. So once again, this was a bullish signal. And yes, all the way in these levels, this was also sort of a spinning top, because we have a long wick towards the downside and a candle body at the top, and this was also a perfect reversal signal exactly here. Let's go to the next one in this major consolidation. And yes, we're going to talk about this consolidation, but first of all, we're going to look at this candle, which was also a spinning top, a reversal exactly here, exactly as we saw in this consolidation over here. And yes, once again, this was a spinning top, a bearish one, but we saw this continuation all the way back up. And exactly at the bottom, we can see once again these candles forming. So ultimately guys, this gives me the first indication that on the weekly chart, this is extremely bullish. This candle exactly here. And if we're going to close this candle body exactly over this previous one, we could expect this continuation and this fast move. And remember, if you're going to try to outpace the market, to rebuy at these low levels, maybe even through this catastrophic dump, which could be possible, but very unlikely, that the price movement of Bitcoin is going to come all the way back down to the 40,000 US dollars. Guys, you're not going to get this entry and you're going to be catched off guard, because this is going to be a fast move. If we're going to see this reversal and exactly this reversal candle play out, this could be a fast move towards the upside. And guys, if you want to trade all of these moves, go down in the video description below and sign up to my free Telegram group, where you can sign up to all of these trusted exchanges at BloFin. You don't need any KYC, and if you sign up with Bybit, you receive a free position as an airdrop. So yes, make use of this free money. And yes guys, if you always want to stay up to date, make sure to be in my free Telegram group, because exactly here I said the CPI data in 18 minutes. I expect a short squeeze killing all the bears, and this is exactly what we saw. Yes, Solana had this major spike towards the upside, but we're going to look at Solana. But most importantly guys, so yes, on the weekly chart for Bitcoin, we're going to look at this major sideways consolidation, because yes, if you bought exactly the bottom for Bitcoin, you were in some major profits. And if you started to invest in Bitcoin all the way up here, you would have wished you bought all the way down here. But guys, even if you bought all the way down here, or even at this major consolidation exactly here, you also had some major pain, because we also had this long sideways consolidation all the way from March all the way to October, before we saw this continuation and this major parabolic run. And yes, even if you invested in crypto, in altcoins, in Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatsoever, if you would have invested all the way up here, you would have been in some major loss. All the way from the swing high all the way to the bottom, this would have been a dump of 21%. This is exactly what we can see all the way up here. But guys, I'm once again going to remind you, it is not about timing the market, it is about time in the market. And this is going to be extremely important, because if you would have just held all the way up here and reaccumulated in this major accumulation phases, which wealth and major institutions are using to accumulate, why shouldn't you accumulate? Why are a lot of people selling all of their crypto all the way up here? Because they want to time the market, get out of the market, get back into the market. Yes, you can make a lot of money with that, but guys, you're not going to predict the market. Yes, these major moves towards the downside and even towards the upside, and once again towards the upside, and even this breakout are going to be fast moves, and they're going to catch you off guard. So yes guys, I'm going to say it one more time. It is not about timing the market, it is about time in the market. So ultimately guys, we're going to look at this major consolidation, because we're going to copy this sideways move exactly here from March all the way to October. We're going to drag it over to the consolidation that we can see at these major highs, because yes guys, this major consolidation started in March. We saw this major pump, major dump, and in the previous one, pump, major dump, and then once again a lower high, and yes, also a lower high from this previous consolidation. Now we saw this dump and this fast move towards upside, leading to this parabolic run. And this is also what we could expect exactly here. I know the market look extremely bearish at the moment, and yes, you're maybe down on your portfolio, but yes, use these major swings towards the downside. And even if the price movement is going to come once again to the 50 moving average, guys, this isn't time to panic, because we all know exactly where we are. Yes, we are in this major consolidation phase before stage 2 of the bull market, and now is the best time to accumulate. So let's go on the even lower time frames of Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart before we're going to go over to Solana. So if you like this update guys, leave a comment, smash up the like button, but most importantly, be subscribed so that you're not going to miss any of these important videos. Because yes, on the 4-hour chart, we can see that the price movement broke once again after having this major dump towards the downside. We can see that the price movement of Bitcoin once again broke the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart, and we came all the way up to the 200 moving average. Then we saw this major rejection, came once again to the 13 moving average, lost the 13 moving average, this white line exactly here, which also perfectly lines up with the lowest monthly candle close, round about the $60,600, and then we came all the way back down to the 50 moving average, found perfect support, formed this double bottom on the 4-hour chart, and then we got this major pump towards the upside. Yes, this was from the CPI data. We had this major pump towards the upside, breaking the 100 moving average, and this is extremely important. But we can also see that the price movement broke this major downwards trend that we have been forming all the way from the 8th of August. And we had this bearish trend, and yes, we can see it as a retest from this major breakout zone exactly here, where the price movement broke out from these levels and had this perfect retest, turned resistance into support exactly here, and then we saw this continuation. So yes, first of all, we broke this trend, we got a rejection at the 100 moving average on the 4-hour chart, and we saw that the price movement came all the way back down. And yes, this is usually what we're going to see during these major news events. We first see a major pump into the news event, and then a sell the news event, where with a major pump and the price movement comes all the way back down, all the way back to the beginning where we have started trading this morning. So yes guys, this was a major news event, but ultimately we can see that the price movement, yes, maybe dumped through these major levels, these breaking news of the US government moving Bitcoin, but we can see that once again on the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin is over the 50 moving average, this blue line, and this is the first bullish indication that Bitcoin has formed the bottom, and we found support exactly within these levels, because yes, we can even see it as a breakout from this major downwards trend. We have perfectly held this trend, and yes, we could say that this is a symmetrical triangle and this breakout with a perfect retest. And yes, during a bull market, Bitcoin and especially the market makers loves to have these deep retracements under these lows, because ultimately if you're going to trade this breakout, your stop loss is going to be somewhere in this region. But if you're going to trade the symmetrical triangle, your stop loss should be actually all the way here at the midpoint from the symmetrical triangle, because you traded this breakout exactly here. So yes, this was a major stop hunt or just major dump caused by FUD in the markets, because ultimately maybe we're not even going to see that the US government is going to sell these Bitcoin, and maybe they have just sold all of these Bitcoin to OTC, being Coinbase Prime, that is holding a lot of assets for major institutions. So yes guys, I think this is just a major FUD and that they're not actually selling Bitcoin. But let's go over to Solana, because yes, we saw this major short squeeze exactly here as I predicted in my Telegram group before we saw this major CPI. And yes, exactly as for Bitcoin, we can see the symmetrical triangle or this triangle forming exactly here. Here we can see it's not the 50 moving average, here we can see it's the 13 moving average being an important level for Solana exactly here, because if we're going to see that we're going to hold this level, we could expect a consolidation, and as soon as we're going to see this breakout over the 50 moving average, we're going to see a major move all the way back up all the way to the 200 moving average being round about the $160 level. And yes guys, this is going to be a perfect W. And if we're going to see this breakout from this major consolidation phase with a higher low exactly here, we could expect this fast move all the way back up, all the way to the $192 level in no time. So yes guys, don't be caught off guard, because ultimately it's not about timing the market, it is about time in the markets, and use these major consolidations or even these dips to dollar cost average, because ultimately on the crypto bubbles we can see that the crypto market is waking up, and now's the time to invest, because we all know that phase 2 of the bull market is about to start. And if you want to find out more, make sure to be subscribed, smash up the like button, but most importantly, be for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.